John Hayden got his hands on. John's very nice. John likes me. Um, yeah, I guess Kraken game reaction from preseason game one against the Vancouver Canucks. As Miracle reminded me, the Vancouver Canucks, the children of the Vancouver Canucks, as
Ladies.
they did the pretty even split. Ty Young, who's played most of his games last year at the ECHL level, and Nikita Tolopilo got the start. Uh, where did this man come from? Wait, what? Th Hold on. The NHL does not like have any. Oh, some guy posted last night that Nikita Tolopilo steals the show. Did he?
I thought
We
he had a great showing, but I don't know if I would say he stole the show.
He had a decent game. Like, I just want to know. I'm so confused because like the NHL normally lists the different places you've been at, like how Elite Prospects will. They have. Oh yeah, okay, okay. Spent
They
the
found him
last 2 years at
outside.
the AHL level. I was like, did they? Yeah, they found this man around Vancouver. They said, "You're
They were like,
big.
"Hey,
You can
come
play
here."
goalie. See the set of pads? Do you like them? Yes, put them on. It's cool to see a few Thunderbirds prospects and Braden Coots and Sawyer Minio. Coots recorded his first unofficial NHL point with an assist. Where is he? There he is in this one in 15 minutes of play, 19 shifts, one shot. Um, my big like general thought from this game, Miracle, was kind of seeing the present of the Kraken and the future on display. John Hayden. John Hayden gets the goal, beloved John Hayden.
Bless
Lover
that
of
man.
brunch. Uh I woke up this morning for background on that. I woke up this morning to edit the takeaways from Miracle and Jade, and I quite literally one of the takeaways just says, "Bless John Hayden." I sat there laughing for a good minute. I
I
agree.
stand by it.
hmm Um, yeah, goals from Hayden Schwartz. I think Vince Dunn. Yeah, Vince Dunn had 3 assists in this one. Uh, and then Shane Wright got an assist. Joey Daccord got the first 2 periods of this game. Um, and then, the future aspect, seeing Jani Nyman get 2 goals. I would argue he's kind of closer to the present as well. I'll speak on that. Um, Oscar Fisker-Molgaard, who very solid forward prospect, got an assist in this one. Edward Shale got the scoring started. Um, and Blake Fiddler got an assist, and I really like Blake Fiddler, who was part of the group that got sent down this morning. They said, "Okay,
I
you had
know.
your fun." I we'll talk about that too. Nike Coco looked pretty good in his period as well. Um, yeah, I don't know. Was there just a general theme that you had from this one before we kind of break down a few of the others, like individuals? Obviously we've kind of alluded to. Is there anything like big picture that kind of stuck out? It's obviously game one of the preseason, but yeah, I don't know. What big picture stood out to you?
I thought it was a little more apparent that Lambert's style of like structured drills and coaching, I that was a little more obvious to me. Like they seemed not necessarily cohesive, but they were on the way there. Like they knew how to do the things even if they couldn't execute them. So that was
Hmm.
nice to see that I felt like that's going to be fun to watch progress throughout the season. That was probably my biggest thing was just seeing them like almost get there or know what they had to do, but not be able to execute it on the ice.
I think it's a good point. And you know what's interesting? Um, to me, you talk about that, right? Like knowing what to do and, being on the cusp of it. Because, they've obviously been running these drills for forever, it feels like at this point. It feels like they've been in drill purgatory. Training camp feels so long. Um, but what's interesting to me is, we noticed during the game that they had Joey Daccord mic'd up. Uh,
Which please give me that every game. I don't even care if he's in the net. Let him do the commentary in the net.
Stick a microphone in his. I mean, they hypothetically, well, they've done that with other players.
Let him do it.
Haven't done it with a goalie yet. I don't think they're mic'd ups.
He's
Um,
like the NHL's darling. Let him be the first.
hey, there you go. But our friend Milo, I feel like Milo's a guest at this point on this
We should bring
show,
Milo on.
Kraken stuff. if he wants to, you know. But Milo posted the full interview. I was gonna go on Amazon and just find it, but woke up this morning, it was on my feed. I said, "Oh, Milo knows." Um, but it was interesting to me that during it, Joey mentioned that they hadn't really fully installed their penalty kill yet,
Clearly.
and I was like, "What do you, huh?" And sure, not like fully, but like Joey was remarking on the penalty kill. I think when Adam Larson was in the box, actively in the box, they
Yeah.
showed it. They've got like the little camera of him in the box. I'm like, oh, cat cam. Uh,
Bleeding.
well, when is he not? Feels like.
I just
Uh, um, but the fact that they fully hadn't installed it yet, they faced six power plays on the night. They only gave up one. Fine.
yeah, I mean it
And
wasn't awful, I guess. But I mean also look at the opponents you were, you know what I
yeah,
mean? Like they're babies, so.
the children. Um, and another thing is the penalty minutes, which we will talk about as well, because a lot of
Ugh.
them came from one man.
But it's
Uh,
fine. We can ignore that one. It's okay.
uh, I just think that's interesting, because Joey has remarked is like, oh, it was nice to get the reps because I really haven't seen a penalty kill yet. He said he hasn't seen a penalty kill since what World Championships or something, and I was like,
Whoa.
whoa. So
Okay.
it's yeah, no, it's interesting to me. They'll get through stuff. Obviously, we've had a few days of camp and then the game here. I know they'll work on that. They've got a back. I think it's weird to have a preseason back to back. I guess since they'll already be in Canada because they play the Flames on Tuesday and the Oilers on Wednesday. I'm like,
That'll be fun.
yeah. So they'll do the split group again, I'm sure. Uh, but I thought that was interesting. And it's why I maybe like wasn't as concerned about it with the penalty kill because they haven't installed it. I guess as too much. But to build off of that, yeah, I think that's important is them like with this new scheme and with Lane Lambert, right? To be in the right spots is one thing. If you're not executing, that's not great when we get to the regular season. But I would prefer that now. Run one of exhibition that you are, moving in the right direction as opposed to we look like shit. I don't know where everything is. I don't know where I'm going, you know. So yeah, I do like that. I will move to John Hayden now because we've talked about the penalty kills. Um, the game he had in Lane Lambert's comments after the game. Um, he also speaks very softly into the mic. Did you notice that? I was like,
I thought
okay.
it wasn't on. I was like, okay, maybe it's just I can't. Okay. Maybe it's
He's
just me.
just
Is it me?
they're failing him. I was like, oh, he's like talking like this. And I'm like, please, can we not do the ASMR
But
shit?
it was
I really don't.
it was ASMR, but like from across the room, so you couldn't really. I'm like, is his
You're
mic
like, can
on?
you
What are
speak
you?
up over there?
I wasn't about
Um,
to say that to that man.
um, first impressions. Can you speak up? Um, oh yeah, John Hayden. Shane Wright gets a hit on him, and John Hayden decides you cannot touch the not a baby anymore, but you cannot touch the child.
The toddler.
Uh,
He's
gets into the
upgraded to
fight.
toddler.
He's upgraded. Uh,
Not an infant anymore. He's a toddler now.
I think that okay. The progression works. And so if yeah, no, I'm not going to focus on this movie. The read of John Hayden here is pretty funny. Cross checking, instigator, fighting, and a misconduct. We were up. The three of us, as Miracle can attest, Miracle Jade and I, were all up there on the press bridge trying to remember what all he had gotten to properly, basically announce to the world that this man had done these things. So he basically pisses off until like the third period. He's just like, I need an extended break. I mean, maybe
I
he had to go
forgot
to the
when he
bathroom.
came back. I was shocked. I was like, "Oh yeah, we did get him back."
We
Like
saw 15 on the ice. I said, hey, you're and he comes back and scores a goal.
immediately. Amazing.
It's funny seeing him post game in the locker room because we went to go talk to John Hayden and Jani Nyman. First of all, I almost
Capo.
got run over by Yanni. Oh yeah, sorry, Capo Caco. Um, almost got run over by Yanni Newman. First of all, I felt bad. The
Very big.
tall young string bean.
Very tall.
Um, second of all, John Hayden immediately again. I said this all night. And to anyone, I think we've talked about it on the show here before, on our main Kraken show, Keeping Up with the Seattle Kraken. John Hayden like beats people to the brink in a game, but if you were on his team and if he likes you, he is the sweetest human being ever. He's like, little cutie pie. Uh, come into the locker room. Hi, Charles. It's good to see you. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, you. I'm like, especially with post game, you're trying to get into the locker room and go straight to the locker of the guy who's, because sometimes they're waiting and they're standing there like, hurry up, like we get this going. So I'm trying to hurry, and John like wants to shake my hand. I'm like, buddy, I gotta go. Like, uh,
I didn't see any of that. My eyes were down. I'm like, nope, we got
yeah,
a tunnel vision to this locker and then we're good.
that's fair. It used to be when they had the hat. When we got in, I was like, all right, whose hat is the locker at? I was like, whose hat? No, whose locker is the hat at? Whose
I
locker?
I miss that hat.
I wonder what they did with it. Anyway,
Who knows? Somebody probably has it somewhere for sure. It's
and
going to show
Billy's
up
like,
in like 30 years.
oh, like what the fuck did they do with this thing? Um, oh, Lane Lambert's comments. Lane was asked about kind of John Hayden and getting the into the fight and the instigator penalty and all that. Da, 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 da. Lane Lambert said he was all for it. It was basically messaging was, hey, if this is going, we're gonna gladly kill off that penalty. If you're sticking up for your own team, for your teammate. And I thought that was interesting. Wrong recording. I was trying to find the exact quote. Yeah, what
Something
did you
about
think?
all the time in the world or
Yep. What do you think of John Hayden's game tonight? What's your reaction to the decision to engage on the penalty? You know what? I have all kinds of time in the world for that. Sticking up for his teammate, outstanding job by him. I don't know about outstanding. We'll try and kill those off all day long when we feel like someone's taking a little bit of liberty with one of our teammates. And, one of the takeaways was about physicality, right? That you guys had. And I mean, this is a team, we talked about it with Jared McCann, shouldn't be fighting.
no.
That's not a guy that should be fighting. When you've got a guy like Berkeley Catton, who, for all intents and purposes, probably at least spends a few games at the NHL level. Uh, you got him, you got Shane, who's smaller. Matty seems to be lighter this year, which isn't great. That's a discussion for a different time. Um, you know, you're not one of the bigger teams in the league forward wise. You need someone who is not going to back down. And John Hayden's done that when he's been up. He hasn't been up a ton for one, and two, he's been hurt sometimes. If you remember year two, he got hurt
He's out
in
for
a fight.
yeah.
Yeah.
In a fight. Imagine
So,
that.
right, he got into this fight, I think, against the Oilers, and he went down, he landed on his leg bad, and he was out, I think, for the rest of the year.
I think so. Because
Um,
I really got into the team in the second season and he wasn't around very much.
yeah. So, whether it's John Hayden, also one of the things I wasn't worried about with this game was the fact that it's not the game like the what the roster will see in the NHL. Like you didn't have Ryan Lindgren who got hit. I was one of the three media people who showed up for morning skate because it was the non-game group because the game group didn't skate with the earlier time. Ryan Lindgren, of all people, gets hit in the face with the puck. Immediately goes to the bench, puts a towel to his face, and goes to the locker room. Lane Lambert, I asked him, I said, hey, uh, one of your defensemen got hit in the face this morning. Sorry. Do you have an update? And he's like, well, they're doing more evaluation, but he should be good to go. They're not worried about it. Like,
Welcome to
I feel like he
Seattle. Sorry, bud.
eats he eats them for a living, it feels like. Even the first availability he did, I think on Saturday, I watched a recording. It looked like his face was still numb from having taken one off of it. I was like, dude. Ugh. Anyway, you don't have him. Like, I'm sure he'll stick up for people. Mason Marchment didn't
Yeah,
play
much
in
for
this
sure.
game, right? So, I, I'm hoping to see that this year because for the majority of the Kraken's existence, they have not done that. Too
Not
often we've
really.
seen guys get taken runs on and they don't do anything. First game back, I think they played Martin Pospisil after Vince Dunn's injury. nothing. And I'm like, hey, this is one of your more important players when he's healthy. Like, obviously, you shouldn't do it just because he's important. You should do it because he's your teammate. But like, show some balls, not to be so man about it, but you know what I mean? Like, show some integrity, show some fight so people don't fuck with you. And I think I said that to RJ during the second intermission for Members of the Hockey. I said this, would you rather those, I don't remember what I compared it to, but I basically said, are you okay doing this in a preseason game so that it sets the tone early on? You will not fuck with our young guys or our smaller guys. And he said, yeah, 100%. So I don't know. I thought that was interesting. I just would like for them to not get messed with. I know they're
Yeah.
young. I know they don't really have as many stars, so to say, as other teams, but like at least don't let people push you around, you know?
It's got to be tiring. Like I feel like you said, like the last couple seasons, it's been prevalent. But we've kind of got this reputation of the team that people can fuck with, and we're not going to fight back. So not that I said we should fight back at everything, but sometimes would be nice. So yeah, I appreciate John Hayden and his. I appreciate John Hayden. I'll just leave it at that.
That's the sentence. It's
End
there it
of
is.
sentence. Yeah.
End of sentence. Yeah, no. So, oh yeah, has to be tiring as well. I mean, I don't know if that's a mental thing, but like, if you are, I don't know, some of the guys it would be though, you're one of the guys who's maybe smaller and you're getting hit because it's easy when you're playing a team with an instigator, right? With a guy who's kind of a shitbag, so to say. Sure,
Possible.
it's like, hey, yeah, I'm tired of dealing with this. You want guys to be able to back you up. So, I did think that was interesting. The John Hayden segment right there. Um,
We could keep going. I love
they
Hayden.
can make a whole podcast out of it. Johnny Newman though is one I think that's all that game last night did for me was say, hey, you can't leave him off the opening night roster. Like
I
I would
agree.
be if he's not on the opening night roster, he plays like 5 to 10 games at Coachella Valley, like lights the AHL teams he's playing on fire, and then he comes up here. Like I really enjoyed him last season. Um, in the stint he got, it did seem in the latter half of games that he got during his stint that the speed of the game seemed to catch up to him a little bit, which is fine. There's going to be an adjustment period, right?
Yeah.
Like you have to remember as well with this guy, which is always funny to me to remember. He's very young. Um, he's 21. He's still young.
It's pretty young
Uh,
to me.
he's I'm not speaking on that. Um, I'm not pissing people off today. Not
Thank you.
not purposefully, at least. Uh, sometimes my presence just does that. Yeah, his rookie year, full rookie year in the AHL last season. He'd spent 5 games with the Firebirds the season before, after coming over from his Liga team. So that's not a full year. 14 games if you include the playoffs, but first full year, right? In America, playing in American hockey, North American hockey. Uh, put together a great year in Coachella Valley. Got 12 games in Seattle, and in what was his rookie season, the AHL level, he looked good at when he got his stint up here. The shot, we all knew about the shot that
Crazy
he's
shot.
got, and that's the kind of shot that you build a power play around. So if you want to improve your power play, I mean, there's one reason to keep the guy around, but his size. You talk about having somewhat of a smaller forward group, right? That again, that line that he was on last night of Newman, Beniers, Kako, I would have just left that. I know Jade's a big proponent of the 17-10-84 line, which don't get me wrong, I don't disagree with. It worked pretty well for a good amount of the season well, a good amount of the time where Yanni was up. Um, oh, wait, no. Yeah, sorry. I'm mixing Yanni. I'm mixing the Finns. Wrong. Can't do that. But I really like the communication there. You give him a guy who, Yanni. he's still working on his English. It's improved since when we saw him last year, but it's you're still working on it. Um, that does matter on the ice, right? Communication on the ice. Uh, playing with a guy that speaks his own fucking language,
It
and
works.
Maddie, of course.
And Maddie.
Uh,
Maybe
I
that maybe
just
they'll teach Maddie Finnish and then they can
he
all
if he you have to remember Maddie is like he's college age, isn't he? So
yeah.
like
I don't know. He's young. They're all children to me. I don't know. Yeah, because he went to Michigan.
Jesus, he's 22. Yeah, he's only a year
Yeah.
older than Newman. Fuck. So like he's like
That's
college. You want to
crazy to
teach
think
this
about.
college kid Finnish? I don't
They
think
could
that
do
would
it.
work. I don't know what they teach him in Michigan. Um,
Well, oh, the
I don't
Midwest,
know.
man.
He just seemed like a class above the prospects. And it's fine for I'm not that dissing the prospects. It's more so an indication of where I think Newman is. I don't know. What did you see from the large Finnish child?
He was one of my favorites to watch. He always is. I agree. I think he said it when we were in the locker room that he worked over the summer and his goal is to play in the NHL. Like that's it. And I think he is going to accomplish that. I agree. If he doesn't make it opening night, he's not going to be in Coachella long. He's ready. Um, and I mean, he's not 100% ready, but when the hell are you ever going to be 100% ready to play with these large children? So
Oh
I
yeah.
think I don't know how much. I don't know what it's going to do to leave him down there too much longer. Ooh, too much longer. I think he's bring him up. We need him. Like you said, we need our power plays shit. We need someone to build it around. Please bring this man, child,
Yeah,
this
and
infant.
they've had like no identity on the power play either. They're not a team that does well with a bumper. They're not a team that run the umbrella. Um, they've had no identity. So, I'm not saying it's the best strategy in the world, but having an idea of where to start would be good. You know what I mean? So, like we got to start somewhere. You can't just be like, ah, fuck it, pass the puck around and like with some stars you can, not Dallas, with some stars you can just do that. But Seattle doesn't necessarily have that quite yet. Um, yeah, like you said, if he's in Coachella Valley, I don't know for how long. And as fun as it is, I don't want to be the bearer of like bad news or be the Debbie Downer or some other word for it, right? For negative. But if this is going to be a transition year where you start to move on from the expansion draft era into the Lane Lambert era with, the prospects from your first few drafts, I would play him now. Get him the experience. I
Yeah.
put this in my storylines ahead of camp. I said, what are the prospects that are going to make the NHL? I said it could be a combination of Catton and Newman. It could be one or the other. But yeah, if Newman doesn't make it, he won't be gone for long. Um, so I don't know. I mean, you do have some forwards who are going to be moved. You have to imagine, or will leave in free agency after the year. Schwartz, Kolvinen, Marchment, Everly have their contracts all go up at the end of the season. I'm not saying they're going to get traded out of camp, but I'm saying the
Right.
reality is they're not all coming back. Uh, so anyway, I'll stop being negative. Uh,
I don't think it's negative. I mean, it's realistic. I mean,
I don't know. I like to feed into because I know some fans, they don't want to hear certain things. Not in that regard, but some people, they don't want to be negative all the time. And there are some shows that
that's
are like
fair.
that.
Yeah. I don't want to be
And
negative all the
so
time either.
I
But I don't
like
think
to give a
just saying,
mixture.
hey, their contracts are up at the end of the year, we could be seeing different people. I don't think that's negative.
Yeah. So it is interesting. Like that's gonna be interesting to watch. It'll be I don't I th does Milo does it do it or is there someone else who is like got the picture of the team picture from year one and the black and white, the
Oh,
guys who are
probably.
gone? Yeah.
I
It'll
mean,
be uh
ouch.
we'll be ticking some boxes off. Yeah, 3 goal third second period really kind of pushed things along. It was kind of funny. Jaden Schwartz got Seattle's third goal of the night, second of that second period. They scored those. excuse me, they scored 3 goals in a 5 minute span, and Jaden Schwartz got this backhander, didn't celebrate. He's like, "This is great. Let's go. Like,
Can
can we
we?
get to the regular season?" Um, you know, so yeah,
Do
nice to see
you
the NHL guys do what they should. Hmm?
do you think that like when the seasoned guys score in the preseason like that they're like, yeah, whatever, this isn't about me, this is about the young kids, or is it more just like, yeah, whatever, let's go, I'm over this, let's get to the regular season?
I do think so. I think those a lot of those guys are more aware of it, you know. There's obviously the element of competition, right? Like I'm
Right.
sure some guys in different positions are like, hey, I don't want to go too easy so that this kid, outshines me and they give me a reason. They provide a reason to
Just
say,
send
oh,
me
well,
off to
yeah.
pasture, put me out to pasture.
But also with a guy like Jaden Schwartz, in his situation specifically, there, no one's necessarily going to push to take his job here.
No, I don't
He's
think.
he's like not the level of, you know, to where you can just say, ah, fuck it, you know. Um, I think for him, yes, but I think there are some guys where it's like I can't afford to just kind of brush it off. In terms of Sellies, I'm like, I don't know. I did see a Vancouver fan. I think Milo, again, Milo was the third guest on the show
This is
today.
a Milo podcast
This
today.
is the Milo show. But there was a Vancouver fan who was like, "Look at the Kraken trying so hard." I'm like, "What? What are we doing?" It's I don't know. It's a game.
Was it a diss? Like, oh my God, look at them trying. It's the, yeah, that's their job, buddy.
Yeah, I don't.
Look at that loser doing his job. All right. It's weird. Okay.
Um, well, yeah, I don't know. I thought Nikkei Coco looked solid in the period he got. I know that Joey's beginning or signed a 5 year extension, but to say your future at the goaltender position, I think, is Nikkei Coco. I think he'll marinate, give him the entire year in Coachella Valley, let him rock the net. That'll be it. That'll, season him a little, give him a little more seasoning down there. Uh, um, you know, I don't know. Yeah, I think those were kind of the main things. I did like Blake Fiddler a lot. I thought so often he was in the right spots. Like, to go back to what you said, Miracle, about like the defensive stuff in that scheme, being in the right spots, but maybe not executing, right? I'd rather so much often rather have you in that position in the right spots, with the right hockey IQ. That is what Lambert said last night about Jake O'Brien. Jake O'Brien's got such a good hockey IQ, and he's in some spots maybe didn't execute. I thought the same with Vittler. I thought he was in the right spots. He just didn't execute. Got the lowest amount of ice time by a defenseman by far, just 10 minutes. Second lowest.
Fiddler
Gustav
did?
Olofsson. Yes. Gustav Olofsson only had 14. Every other D man had at least 20. Um,
Oof.
but he's a guy that I think you know has the highest ceiling of your D-men prospects right now. And I think we were talking about it at camp with Everett Fitzhugh. We think he'll be in the NHL quicker, sooner
Oh
rather
yeah.
than later.
He's the
So,
one that Fitz said that he thought he could come for Dunn's job, right? That's Fiddler?
yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Um, yeah, I don't know. Anything else stick out to you from besides all the rambling I've just been doing?
Well, and I have my notes pulled up.
Note.
No, we talked about it all.
Eh. So yeah, I don't know. It's just nice to do these and kind of, especially after. I don't know if that's going to be my plan is to do them all the day after, but just to have a, night to think about it. There's so much stuff going on, the night of a game. Uh, totally lost my train of thought. So much going on the night of a game. And especially the preseason game, there's not too much to go over because they're the main top parts that we talk about, then it's somewhat cut and dry. So, yeah, next preseason game is on Tuesday, 6 o'clock start time in Calgary against the Flames. We don't know the game roster for tomorrow. Nope. Yes, for tomorrow. I keep forgetting it's Monday. uh, on the
Yeah.
Kraken Hockey Network, which is basically Amazon Prime and Kong. And then on Wednesday, they play the Oilers 6 o'clock start time. NHL Network, Kraken Hockey Network, and Kong. They don't come back until next Monday, a week from now, against the Flames, 7 o'clock. NHL Network, Kraken Hockey Network, Kong. If you can join us at Climate Pledge Arena to take on the Flames. So yeah, I don't know about you. I want to get to the regular season, but we will still do our job for the
It does feel
preseason.
like it feels like I don't there's probably not, it's probably the same, but it feels like there's way more preseason games this year than there has been. I don't know why this whole process feels like it's taking
Even
much longer than it normally does.
Yeah, even looking at like a 3 game road trip for the preseason, I'm like, really? Do you have to be gone for that long?
Was
I
it
don't
like
know.
that last? I guess so,
It
because they
doesn't
played
feel
the
like
same
it.
teams.
Maybe just because hockey's been gone for so long, it feels this way. But I know next year there's going to be less preseason, so can't
I agree
simulate to
with you.
then. But you know, yeah. Till we see you next time. Take care of yourselves. Be well. Whatever you can to make today.
Hey, Charles.
Hey, Jen.
Hey, where are you going to watch all those Kraken away games?
Kraken away games, making a push. I was thinking of coming here just because Rough and Tumble is the home of Circling Seattle sports, only if that's okay with you.
I mean, I love that idea. Hope to see you here.